Episode 42, The Leadership of Silence, and the New Era of Mental Health at Work. Welcome, dear listener, to The Invisible Power. I am the Zen Master, and today we enter a space that speaks without words, silence. This episode is about the leadership of silence, not as absence, but as presence. Not as emptiness, but as invitation. Because in a world of noise, silence is not retreat. It is strategy. And in this new era, where mental health is no longer a private struggle but a shared responsibility, silence becomes sacred. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of space. The silence that says, "You are safe here." Yoga and the sacred pause. In yoga, silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the presence of awareness. In mana, the yogic vow of silence, we don't just stop speaking, we start listening. To breath. To body. To the subtle shifts beneath the surface. The Yoga Sutras remind us. When the mind is still, the self reveals itself. But the mind cannot be still if the workplace is always on. If the calendar is full. If the culture rewards noise over nuance. In this new era of mental health at work, silence is not a luxury. It's a necessity. A pause is not a weakness, it's a wellness practice. Qigong and the quiet between movements. In Qigong, silence is the space between gestures. The pause between inhale and exhale. The still point at the end of a spiral. Try this practice, silent standing. Stand with feet shoulder width apart. Let your arms rest gently. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. Listen not to sound, but to sensation. Feel the silence behind the breath. Feel the stillness beneath the movement. This is not passive. It is potent. It is the silence that restores rhythm, resets presence, and reclaims clarity. Silence and Mental Health in Leadership. According to It's a New Era for Mental Health at Work by Kelly Greenwood and team, we are witnessing a shift. Mental health is now a business priority. Employees expect psychological safety, not just performance reviews. Leaders are being called to model vulnerability, not just resilience. And here's the paradox. Silence is part of that modeling. Silence that listens without fixing. Silence that holds space for emotion. Silence that says, you don't have to be okay to be valuable. If you're a manager, silence is your ally in this new era. Begin meetings with a breath. End them with a pause. Make room for what's not being said. And if you're not yet a manager, silence is how you begin to lead. You don't need a title to hold space. You just need presence. You just need to listen. Laozi and the Eloquence of Stillness. Laozi reminds us. Silence is a source of great strength. In the Tao Te Ching, the sage does not speak to impress. He speaks when the moment calls. And when he is silent, his presence still teaches. This is the leadership of silence. Not withdrawal. Not withholding. But wisdom. A practice for the week. Here's something to try. In your next conversation, experiment with silence. Pause before responding. Let a question hang. Let someone else fill the space. Then ask yourself, what did I learn from the silence? What emotions surfaced? What did I hear that I might have missed? Let silence become your strategy. Let your presence become your practice. Let your leadership become a sanctuary. Closing reflections plus teaser for episode 43. Silence is not the opposite of communication. It is its foundation. It is the invisible power that holds space for truth, trust, and transformation. And in this new era of mental health at work, silence is not a void. It is a vessel. A place where people can breathe, reset, and belong. Thank you for joining me in this quiet exploration. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who leads with presence. Someone who knows that silence is not emptiness, it's eloquence. And next time, in episode 43, we'll explore the leadership of the threshold. We'll ask, What does it mean to stand between what was and what's next? How do we lead through liminal space when the old is gone, but the new is not yet clear? And how can thresholds become places of transformation, not just transition? Until then, keep walking gently. Keep pushing wisely. And remember, in silence, we don't disappear. We deepen. This was The Invisible Power, episode 42. Be well.